Big fires are burning in Los Angeles. The city is engulfed in a series of wildfires that have spread rapidly due to dry conditions and strong winds. The situation is dire, with flames reaching unprecedented heights and the sky filled with thick, choking smoke. Firefighters are working around the clock to contain the blazes, but the sheer scale of the fires is making it a monumental task. These fires started on January 5, 2025. Since then, they have shown no signs of slowing down. The initial spark was caused by a combination of dry weather and a stray lightning strike, which ignited the parched vegetation. The flames quickly spread, fueled by the Santa Ana winds, which are notorious for their ability to fan wildfires into raging infernos. The fires are still burning out of control. Despite the best efforts of thousands of firefighters, the blazes continue to spread, consuming everything in their path. The unpredictable nature of the wind and the dry conditions have made it nearly impossible to predict where the fires will move next. This has led to widespread evacuations and a state of emergency being declared in several areas. The fires have burned thousands of acres of land. Many homes are destroyed, entire neighborhoods have been reduced to ashes, and the once lush landscapes are now charred and barren. The loss of property is staggering, and the emotional toll on the residents is immeasurable. Many families have lost everything they own and are now faced with the daunting task of rebuilding their lives from scratch. The biggest fire is the Palisades fire. This particular blaze has been the most challenging to control due to its location and the dense vegetation in the area. The Palisades fire has already consumed over 10,000 acres and continues to threaten nearby communities. Fire crews are focusing their efforts on creating fire breaks and using aerial water drops to slow its advance. It is burning in the hills near the Pacific Ocean. The proximity to the coast has added another layer of complexity to the firefighting efforts. The coastal winds can change direction suddenly, making it difficult to predict the fire's path. Additionally, the rugged terrain in the hills has made it challenging for ground crews to access certain areas, necessitating the use of helicopters and other aerial support. The Eaton fire is also very big. This fire is burning in the mountainous regions and has already scorched thousands of acres. The steep slopes and dense forests have made it particularly difficult to contain. Firefighters are using every tool at their disposal, including bulldozers to create fire lines and controlled burns to remove potential fuel for the fire. It is burning in the mountains north of the city. The fire's location has put several small communities at risk, and evacuation orders have been issued to ensure the safety of residents. The smoke from the fire has also drifted into the city, causing air quality to plummet and posing a significant health risk to those with respiratory conditions. These fires are very dangerous. The combination of high temperatures, low humidity, and strong winds has created the perfect conditions for these wildfires to thrive. Firefighters are facing extreme heat and hazardous conditions as they battle the flames. The danger is not just from the fire itself, but also from falling debris and the potential for sudden flare-ups. The smoke is making it hard to breathe. The thick plumes of smoke have blanketed large areas, turning the sky an eerie orange and reducing visibility to almost zero in some places. Residents are being advised to stay indoors and wear masks if they need to go outside. The smoke has also caused numerous health issues, with hospitals reporting an increase in respiratory problems and other related illnesses. The flames are moving very fast. The speed at which these fires are spreading is alarming. In some cases, the flames have been advancing at a rate of several miles per hour, leaving little time for residents to evacuate. The rapid movement of the fire has also made it difficult for firefighters to establish control lines and has forced them to constantly adapt their strategies. Many people had to leave their homes. Evacuation centers have been set up to provide shelter and support for those displaced by the fires. The community has come together to offer assistance, with volunteers providing food, clothing, and other necessities. Despite the overwhelming challenges, there is a sense of resilience and hope as people band together to face this crisis. The fires are spreading quickly because of the wind. The gusts are relentless, pushing the flames across the landscape with alarming speed. Each gust of wind acts like a bellows, feeding the fire and making it grow larger and more uncontrollable. The wind is not just a carrier, but a catalyst, turning small sparks into raging infernos. The wind is blowing the flames to new areas. It's as if the fire has a mind of its own, seeking out new territories to consume. The wind-driven flames leap over fire breaks and roads, making it difficult for firefighters to contain the blaze. The unpredictability of the wind adds another layer of danger, as it can change direction without warning, trapping both people and animals in its path. The dry weather is also making the fires worse. Months of drought have left the land parched and brittle, a perfect tinderbox waiting to ignite. The lack of moisture in the soil and vegetation means that once a fire starts, it spreads rapidly. The dry conditions also create their own wind patterns, further fanning the flames and making the situation even more dire. The dry grass and trees catch fire easily. These natural fuels are like kindling, igniting with the slightest spark. Once ablaze, they burn hot and fast, creating a wall of fire that moves with terrifying speed. The combination of dry vegetation and strong winds creates a perfect storm for wildfires, making them nearly impossible to control. The Palisades fire is moving towards the city of Brentwood. This affluent neighborhood is now under threat, with residents being urged to evacuate. The fire's proximity to urban areas adds a new level of urgency, as homes, businesses, and lives are at risk. The sight of flames approaching the cityscape is a stark reminder of the destructive power of nature. Many famous people live in Brentwood. This area is known for its luxurious homes and high-profile residents. The threat of fire has brought a sense of vulnerability to a place usually associated with security and comfort. The community is rallying together, but the fear is palpable as the flames draw nearer. The Getty Center is also in Brentwood. This world-renowned museum is home to countless priceless works of art. The potential loss of such cultural treasures adds another layer of tragedy to the unfolding disaster. Efforts are being made to protect the museum, but the unpredictable nature of the fire makes it a race against time. It has many famous works of art. These masterpieces are irreplaceable, and their loss would be felt worldwide. The museum staff is working tirelessly to safeguard these treasures, but the fire's relentless advance leaves little room for error. The cultural impact of such a loss would be immeasurable. The Eaton Fire is burning in steep canyons. These rugged terrains make firefighting efforts extremely challenging. The steep slopes and narrow paths hinder the movement of equipment and personnel, making it difficult to establish control lines. The fire uses the canyons as natural chimneys, drawing in air and feeding the flames. This makes it hard for firefighters to reach the flames. The physical demands of battling a fire in such conditions are immense. Firefighters are working around the clock, but the terrain and the fire's intensity are formidable adversaries. Their bravery and determination are commendable, but the odds are stacked against them. The fire is threatening the town of Sierra Madre. This small community is now on high alert, with evacuation orders in place. The residents are facing an uncertain future as the fire edges closer. The sense of community is strong, but the fear of losing homes and livelihoods is ever present. The battle against the fire is far from over, and the stakes could not be higher. Nobody knows for sure what started the fires. Investigators are looking for the cause. It might be a long time before they know. Some people think power lines might have started the fires. Power lines can fall down in strong winds. The downed lines can make sparks. These sparks can start fires. Other people think someone might have started the fires on purpose. This is called arson. The police are investigating this possibility. Section 4. Water problems make fires worse. The fires are also worse because of problems with water. In many regions, the lack of water has become a critical issue, exacerbating the already dire situation. The combination of prolonged droughts and increased temperatures has led to a significant decrease in available water sources. This scarcity of water not only affects the environment, but also hampers firefighting efforts. The Santa Ynez Reservoir was empty when the Palisades fire started. This reservoir, which is a crucial water source for the region, had dried up due to the ongoing drought. The lack of water in such reservoirs means that when fires break out, there is an immediate shortage of the most essential resource needed to combat them. The reservoir is supposed to hold water for fighting fires. However, with it being empty, firefighters were left scrambling to find alternative water sources. This situation is not unique to the Santa Ynez Reservoir. Many other reservoirs and water bodies across the state are facing similar issues. Some fire hydrants also ran dry. This is a devastating blow to firefighting efforts, as hydrants are a primary source of water for firefighters. When these hydrants are dry, it significantly delays the response time and effectiveness of firefighting operations. This means there was no water for the firefighters to use. The sight of firefighters struggling with empty hoses is becoming all too common. Without water, their ability to control and extinguish fires is severely compromised, leading to more extensive damage and longer-lasting fires. The firefighters had to find other ways to get water. They resorted to using water tanker trucks and helicopters to transport water to the fire zones. Portable water tanks were also deployed to provide some relief. These methods, while helpful, are not as efficient as having a readily available water source. The governor of California is ordering an investigation. Governor Gavin Newsom has recognized the severity of the water shortage problem and its impact on firefighting efforts. He has called for a thorough investigation to understand the root causes and to develop strategies to prevent such issues in the future. He wants to know why there were problems with the water. The investigation will look into the management of water resources, the impact of climate change, and the effectiveness of current water infrastructure. The goal is to ensure that in the future there will be adequate water supplies to support both the environment and emergency services. Section 5. Help is on the way. Many firefighters are working to put out the fires. They are using helicopters and airplanes to drop water and fire retardant. The President of the United States has promised to help. He is sending money and resources to California. The Red Cross is helping people who have lost their homes. They are providing food, shelter, and clothing. Section 6. People suffer from the fires. The fires have caused a lot of suffering. At least 11 people have died in the fires. Many more are missing. Thousands of people have had to evacuate their homes. They don't know when they can go back. Some people have lost everything they own. The fires are also causing emotional distress. People are scared and worried about their families and their homes. Section 7. Looking ahead. The fires are still burning. Firefighters are working hard to put them out. It will take a long time for the fires to be completely extinguished. After the fires are out, the recovery process will begin. This will be a long and difficult process. The fires are a reminder of the dangers of wildfires. They are also a reminder of the importance of being prepared.